We had an amazing end to the year last year. Quarter four was the best quarter ever had, and quarter one this year is the best quarter one we've ever had, and it's just continuing on. The last figures I had was up until the end of April. All positive, just really roaring along. There doesn't really seem to be any great sign of any tailing off of sales. We're just continuing to break record after records, really. So yeah, fantastic. I mean, our members are typically mid to higher end independent kitchen and bathroom studios, primarily kitchen, as we know. And they've been having an absolute great time. Anecdotally, talking to the members, obviously trying to get a grip of what's driving this. House renovation seems to be the major driving force of this success. People renovating their properties, doing the whole property, spending a lot of money on the property, or also perhaps slightly less, but also coming into play are people moving into property, wanting to put, again, either a complete renovation or starting with a new kitchen or a new bathroom. So, this particular sector, the mid to higher end, so far seemingly has been immune to any short-term downturn. I think they're all expecting a downturn, but we're starting to get into the second half of the year. But no, I mean, that's been the main drivers, really. What I've been hearing is also, and again, unfortunately, it is all a bit anecdotal, but it certainly drives the figures. The orders that the members are taking, or retailers are taking, are of considerably higher average value than maybe what they were pre-COVID. It's just remarkably positive. Some retailers have just been saying you've been trading 30 years plus. They've never seen anything like it in terms of order values, number of inquiries, the amount of work they've got on. Of course, inevitably, it is bound to slow. I mean, that's just the nature of the market. It's not sustainable, I don't think, at the levels that we've seen. It is going to tail off, and it'll tail off because of the reasons that obviously we know: the inflation, fuel prices, impact of people want to go on holiday, the general doom and gloom that people are kind of feeling a little bit. Even people with money and with money to spend, maybe they're beginning to feel that spending money, conspicuous spending, if you like, is perhaps not the best thing to be doing in the current climate. I still think, actually, personally, and it is purely obviously a personal view, I think there will be a slowing of the market, but I think it won't be as pronounced as what some people are predicting. I think there's still a lot of pent-up demand still to come to the market. So overall, up to the half year, fantastic. Second half of the year, I would see it tailing off. Hard to put percentage on it, but I would think it might tail off, in my view. In my sector, I think it might tail off 10, 15%, which, considering the boom we've been through, would still mean, overall, we'll still be ahead of where we were pre-COVID. So yeah, I'm just, optimistic. Will then happen as we move into next year? I think it's much harder to say. Will it take a further step down, or might it bounce back? I still think there's so much demand out there. Still think the market will remain strong for the next couple of years. The way that this downturn that is coming is going to affect the market will affect the market in different sectors in different ways. Those retailers that rely on volume, that may be more price driven, more appealing to a broader, dare I say, younger audience, I think that's the sector, whether they're national retailers or independent retailers, I think that, or online retailers for that matter, I think those are the retailers that are really driven at heart by huge volumes. I think inevitably they will see those volumes begin to dip. Independent, mid to high end, tend to weather these sort of ups and downs perhaps a bit better than the rest of the market. I have great sympathy for the independents. I really do. As I said to one recently, I don't even know how they even managed to quote a price, because literally the minute they put a price out the door, the price changes. But at the end of the day, they are incredibly resilient, and they find a way. Very close to their customers. They spend a lot of time with their clients, and they explain the situation. And I think the clients get it, because it's not just the kitchen and bathroom industry that's seeing this, is it? It's every sector of the marketplace. I don't think there is much pushback from the client that when the retailer informs them that maybe their oven is going to be 18-week delivery, or the price of that oven when it does finally appear could be 15, 20% more than what they initially thought. the end user might sigh and might roll their eyes, but at the end of the day, they also know if they go to a competitor down the road, they're going to get exactly that same story. Yes, it's been a very difficult, challenging time. It obviously hasn't had a detrimental effect on the marketplace. The independents have been able to perform exceptionally well, despite these challenges. And at the end of the day, I think the key fact here is I don't think there's many consumers that have come to the market, have had that conversation with the independent around extended lead times, a movable price, and then have turned around and said, okay, well, I'm not going, I'm coming now out of the market. I'm not going to have my new kitchen. Independents have probably faced some of the biggest challenges they've seen in many, many years over supply and price. But on the flip side, they've also seen a real sales boom. These issues around supply, I think, will certainly continue on through the second half. My gut feel is things will begin to improve as we move first half next year, simply as the market slows. One kind of message I've been hearing from retailers that are, I would say, in the very sort of top echelons and very successful is the power of social media, and particularly Instagram. I'm certainly hearing from retailers that are selling high volumes of high value kitchens. For them, has proved to be a real sort of boon to them in terms of getting their message out there, but also generating actual tangible leads. I do think maybe what's happening is retailers just getting more refined. Generation of business owner coming through now to actually put it front and center of their business and realize to make it work, you can't just kind of bolt it on the side. You've got to bring it front and center. And I think the businesses that I think of that are being successful in this area are doing it because they are putting it front and center of the business.